face when you did that. It was funny.
When I did what?
When you pushed record.
What did my face do?
You were like, okay, I guess I have to do this now.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah. Hello, darling.
Hi, lovely. Hi, everybody. So, disclaimer, and I think that's already also the topic. We're actually not really in the mood to talk to you today. We actually just kind of want to talk without the microphone. Because we haven't in a very long time is one part of the reason. We have not had the time to... We haven't had Megan and Hannah time in quite a few weeks. And that always takes a toll on us.
Yeah. Especially since we are talking and we are seeing each other. But we have such limited time that we're like keeping it on topic. And
then we have to suppress
out at the end
all the things that come up. But like when I see Megan's face, I'm like, oh my God, I want to tell her this and this and this. And then I have to hold it all down and be like, I was going to say all professional, but now I hope everyone's laughing because that's not who we are and what this podcast is. No. But you know what I mean.
Yeah.
We have to be like on topic, and that's been a little hard. So it's gotten to the point that we look at our topic list and
we're like, ugh.
We're both like, ugh, no, none of this sparks joy. I don't want to talk about any of this.
Nope. So we're just kind of going to do a little life update.
Yeah.
There'll be some baby stuff in there, but hopefully going to keep it short. I mean, we're relatively long-winded people, so it might not be short, but that's the plan. Just say hey, check in, and then we'll check you out again next week when hopefully we'll be feeling a lot more enthusiastic.
Yeah, and we really want to have guests. We have been wanting to have guests on here since we started this and just wanted to give it time until we feel comfortable with this whole gig and have like the technical side of it down. And we're finally somewhat getting there. And we're definitely at the point where we're like, okay, we need other people's input. So who knows? Maybe
I'm sure
next
you're
week.
all bored of us, and we are also bored of us.
We are very bored of ourselves. Yes.
So 1, if you want somebody to be on the podcast, please let us know. 2, if you want to be on the podcast, let us know. We may very well be open to that. We probably will be. You don't need to be an expert in anything. You just need to be interested in talking about parenting and or pregnancy. So today we're just going to chat at you for a little bit, and then hopefully be back with either more enthusiasm for ourselves or enthusiasm for someone new to be gracing the airwaves.
Yeah, we have a few people that are on our list and we want to hit up, and we'll see. Maybe it works out with one of them so that next week you're already going to have a little interview for your earbuds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So something I just said to Megan before we turned on the microphones, and then she was like, would you be willing to say that on the podcast? I somewhat jokingly said to her, it got to the point that this week I was thinking, maybe I should just get pregnant so we have something to talk about on the podcast. And background info, I'm like, outside of that, I'm not at the point right now that I want to get pregnant, but I was somewhat seriously considering it just so I could be more enthusiastic about this podcast and have something to talk about and contribute to it. So that's where we're at.
That's where we're at. And I also feel like we just don't know what we're doing. We're just thinking about these things and talking about them between ourselves, which is the goal, right? The idea of our podcast is to talk about this stuff as non-experts, make mistakes, learn along the way. And so that's the goal. Like, we're not here to be experts. But again, since our plan is to have people on who know different things than we do, who are otherwise informed and engaged, I think we're just at the point where we're like, well, I don't feel like we have too much to offer right now, or anything new to offer right now. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at.
Yeah.
It feels good to have said it. Now I feel more enthusiastic already.
Oh, good.
I feel less like we're trying to force something.
Yeah, it started to feel ingenuine a little bit.
Disingenuous, yeah.
Disingenuous, thank you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't like that because, like you said,
Me
that's
either.
kind of what we're all about. So,
Yeah.
I agree. It feels good to be honest about it.
Yeah.
Just share where we're at.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about the app that you found this morning?
Yeah. So in a last minute bid for something to talk about this morning, I went on Instagram and I saw a post, and I don't remember who posted it. I'm sorry. I think it was She Births. We've posted some of their stuff before. It's great. It's a hypnobirthing company or learning platform out of Australia, I think.
I think so.
Yeah, I think they're in Australia. But the post was basically saying don't tell people to take on self-care when what they really need is community.
Mm-hmm.
Which I thought was super timely for me because I am feeling like I need more mom community, parenting community. So as I was scrolling further on our Instagram, I saw an ad for the app Peanut, which is based on the ad that I saw and slight intro to signing up that I had, is like a dating app for moms, basically. Which is
I think
amazing.
sounds amazing.
I know, I'm so into it. Because I have a great community of friends and family and support, but they're pretty much all very far away. I mean, Hannah, for example, is an ocean and several countries away.
And also not a mom.
Also not a mom. Yeah, I have a couple of close friends that have had kids, but they're not near me and they're busy being moms. So maintaining long distance relationships with friends is harder now that I have less time and less bandwidth, and harder for them too.
And you said to me the other day they are, in terms of the age of their baby, they're ahead of you, and you would like someone that's like right in your...
Yeah, right around where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because babies change so fast that like a 10-month-old is very specific to a 9 to 11-month-old baby, right? Like anyone with a 13, 14-month-old baby toddler is having a very different experience, which is crazy to think about, but also why we look for support from in such a specific way. And I think probably why this app is successful. So yeah, I'll keep you posted on that. I signed myself up. I wrote a little bio. Writing bios is terrible.
Yeah.
This is why I'm so grateful that I've never had to be on dating apps.
I was for a minute there, and
well, God bless you.
I agree. That was not fun.
Yeah, thinking about the way I would like to be perceived and what to write in order to facilitate that perception is just like an exercise in navel gazing that I'm not that interested in doing.
Yeah.
But I threw something together and decided that I wouldn't think about it too hard and just go ahead and post it. I think I did. I'm not sure. Then I had to nurse a baby, so.
There's also that.
Here we are. Yeah. So that's my undertaking for the week. I could just hear him crawling. He thumps down the hall as he crawls. Because he's so fast. He's like boom, 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 boom.
Wow.
That's so great. He's a speedy little devil.
And a clingy one right now, you said earlier.
Yeah, he's very clingy right now. He's teething. He's got a big bump on his bottom gum. That's one of these teeth coming in. And he took a very short nap. Hasn't been sleeping great. It's a blast over here. No, it is. He's so cute. He's like starting to put his sounds together into things that sound like words.
Oh.
Yeah, it was so cute. And he's starting to make, like when he plays peekaboo, he'll make a high-pitched noise when he peeks, because that's usually how we say peekaboo. And so he goes, ah! And it's so cute.
I wish I knew that when I played peekaboo with him the other night. I would have made that high pitched noise.
Oh yeah, you guys FaceTimed and it was so cute.
That made my night. That was so fun.
I'm so glad. It
That was
was so cute. Yeah, recently discovered that I can hide the phone and he'll go look for it if there's somebody on it, and then be like so excited to see them and find them. I remember a friend of mine had done that with her niece when she lived far away. Her sister would just like walk the phone around and hide it, and then the baby would count. She was a little older. She was like 2 or something. She would count and then go find. She'd be like 1, 2, 3, and then go find her.
Oh, I can't.
It was so cute. And so then I thought to do it with my mom the other day, and I did, and it worked, and he was so into it. And so now I've been doing it left and right, and he's really enjoying it.
Oh, it was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank God they're so cute, right? So then it makes up for it and makes you forget the struggles for a second.
I mean, yeah, it doesn't. I don't mean that in a I know I said that really deadpan.
That was great.
It doesn't make you forget the struggles.
I want to say thank you in the name of all the moms that are listening to us, and we're like, Hannah, no, you don't know what you're talking about. So thanks, Megan, that you corrected me.
It doesn't. I mean, you don't forget. At least I don't. There is that narrative out there of like the things that make you forget all of the bad things. And that just doesn't happen. At least not to me. I'm like, oh, this is such a beautiful thing. And then also those other things still exist. But yeah, I mean, it's such a weird amalgam of emotions, because on the one hand, it's like overwhelming and exhausting and makes you feel like you don't know anything, and feels like such a big task to undertake growing a human.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's doing most of the work. I'm just trying to stay out of his way, you know? But on the other hand, it's so delightful. It's so just like adorable and joyful and overwhelming in a beautiful way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all of the things at the same time, or all of the things at slightly different times. Well, and it's like I was reading the No Cry Sleep Solution book, and one of the major criteria she has for like changing the way your baby sleeps is that you have to want to change it. And this is for people whose babies wake up like every 45 minutes, right? Or like every hour or 2 at night, well into their toddler years. Are some of the people, like she has a lot of examples of people, you know, saying how this worked or what they did in the book. And some of them are 18 months old. Some of them are 3 years old. Some of them, they're like, it's older kids who can't sleep through the night. It's also for infants and any baby over 6 months old. But one of the major criteria she has, in order for this to work, you need to have X, Y, and Z. The first one is you have to want to change it, because even though it makes you exhausted, and even though it feels defeating, and even though it feels too overwhelming and you can't function throughout the day, it's also like this precious moment that you have in the middle of the night with your tiny baby, who's maybe getting not so tiny anymore and is sleepy and cuddly and clingy. And when throughout the day they're like, okay, I want to be with you now, but then the rest of the time, leave me alone, don't touch me.
Yeah, they got things to do.
They got stuff to do. So it's kind of, that's a prime example of this, right? It's this thing that makes you frustrated and miserable, but it's also this beautiful thing that you don't want to let go of necessarily. So it's that.
Can't wait.
I know. So can we ask how you're doing, not mom related, so I can stop talking?
Yeah. I don't know how to answer that though. I'm fine. Totally
good.
Fine.
Great news. What have you been up to?
There might be an individual podcast in the works.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten the there's still a few impulses, clicks, if you know human design. They're still missing a few pieces. So it's a possibility that like I don't know if it is going to be born, but like
Yeah.
I got some inspiration and I started following that. And
Cool.
we'll see what comes of it.
Does it have like a focus or a topic yet?
See, that's one of the things. So a year ago, I, out of my brain, started making a podcast with a certain focus and topic and title, and I had all the things figured out. And then when I started recording, it wasn't going. Like I kept redoing the episodes and was very nervous, and I would get very flustered and would forget what I wanted to say, and it just wouldn't flow. Which is why I then decided to take it, like I think I even had it published for a few hours, and then
Oh, really?
I was like, yeah, no, this doesn't feel right. And then I took it down and said to myself that I'll wait for the inspiration, for the impulses, for the human design sacred clicks to come to me, and I'll do it then. And that happened last week. I got inspired to talk about something, and I got the impulse to make it as a podcast. And my old self, I'm gonna say here, in lack of a better word or description, would have been like, my brain would have started to go, oh, but okay, so now I need a title and a topic and all these things. But my current self that's working on getting more into just the intuitive creation and like flowing with life was like, I right now have the inspiration to talk about something. So that's what I'm going to do. And I can record this without having a title.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to say what wants to be said. And then maybe that's all that happens. And maybe that was just for me to process something through speaking it. Because that's, I don't know if you can tell, that's part of my personality, that I process things through speaking.
Yeah, I think a lot of people do. It's something I do too.
Yeah.
Not totally. I think you and I both have a mixture of like, I have to process it without people and by myself and not saying anything out loud and just in my brain. And even sometimes just not thinking about it and let my brain do it in the background, and then also talking about it.
Yeah, and for me, speaking it doesn't even have to mean with people. Sometimes it's just I have to speak it, and I do that by myself. So it might end up that was just that I needed to process something through speaking it, and this is just going to be for me, and it's never going to go anywhere. It might be that this actually does become a podcast, and that I will get the rest of the information, so like the title and things like that. So I'm not there yet, though.
Okay, that's exciting.
Yeah, that was exciting. Then there have been a few life changes, future plans happening, which is very unfair that I'm saying this now because I'm not going to share this with you. That's something for Megan and Hannah time. So like things that Matthias and I talk about. Yeah. That's been very exciting.
Oh, good. Good future changes, plans, things happening.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I have my detox that's still going with a little group. I'm doing a cleanse, a 30-day cleanse. Yeah. That's fun. I'm learning lots. I'm taking...
Still going well?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's very fun. Taking 2 weekend classes about human design, which is why you've heard me say things around those lines for the past few episodes. I'm very into it, and it's also, of course, personally helping me very much and like lighting me up and very interesting, and it's so helpful for my work, and it's really
making
fun.
A lot of things click for you.
Yeah.
Cool.
I think I'm going to want to talk about it someday on the podcast.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
Because, for example, I keep thinking about, and now I almost said his name. We've had this in one of the episodes we recently recorded and then didn't air. We kept saying his name.
Yeah, my baby's name.
And Megan said, yeah, the older he gets, he said it so beautifully. I think he said the more he becomes a person, it becomes harder not to say his name and keep saying the baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you're okay if I say that he's a projector. And that's for people who know human design. That's a newer type. We're going to get more projectors the coming years. That's like the new, we need them for the changes that we need in our human race. But since it is a new type, we don't, as a human race, we don't have a lot of experience how these types work and what they need and how to relate with them. So it's been very interesting to learn more about that type, and especially when I hear people talking about specifically projector kids, I always think of him and I'm like, oh, I need to tell Megan. So that's exciting too.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I've been rambling. I'm going to stop.
Yeah. I think it might be time to wrap it up for today.
Yeah, I think so.
I'm really glad that you talked about the human design stuff a little bit more, because that's one thing we haven't been able to catch up on very much, and I'd like to.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're going to go and catch up offline, and we're glad to have been able to catch up with you a little bit online, and we hope you got a little bit of joy from this little chat today.
Yeah. Let us know in the comments on our Instagram or YouTube, wherever, how you're doing, what you're feeling these days.
Yeah, where are you at?
Yeah. And what Megan said earlier, if you want to be on the podcast, or if you know someone that you would like for them to be in the podcast, or if you would like, I don't know, you're like, I want a midwife on the podcast, something like that.
Yeah.
I want you guys to talk about this, or someone out of this field. Please you can send us a message on Instagram. You can send us an email. Our email is in the bio on our website. It's everywhere. Yeah, I think that's it.
We are reachable.
We are very reachable. And we're always glad to hear from you in any way or form.
All right. So take care of yourselves. Do the things you're feeling. Don't do the things you're not feeling. And we'll talk to you again next week.
Till next week. Bye.